So good morning everyone. Let us start unit 3 today in CNS. So cryptography and network security you people know. So let us start unit 3 in CNS subject. What is the name of unit 3? Asymmetric encryption. So what topics we have in unit 3? Mathematics of asymmetric key cryptography, asymmetric key cryptography. Only two topics we have in unit 3. So let us start unit 3 today, which is asymmetric encryption in CNS. So what do you mean by asymmetric encryption? Using two different keys. Using two different keys. So if we use two different keys, it is asymmetric encryption. If you use only one key, it is symmetric encryption. So you already know that. So we have to start unit 3 in CNS. The name of unit 3 is asymmetric encryption. What is the meaning of asymmetric? Using two different keys. How many topics we have in this unit? We have two topics in this unit. First one is mathematics of asymmetric key cryptography, that we will discuss later. And the second topic is asymmetric key cryptography. Asymmetric key cryptography. This we are going to discuss today. So basically what I wanted to tell you is, symmetric key cryptography is based on only one key, that is secret key. Asymmetric key cryptography is based on the personal secrecy. So here we are using two keys, private key and public key. So see here, asymmetric key cryptography uses two separate keys. What are the two separate keys? Private key and public key. So listen carefully. The difference between symmetric and asymmetric key is, in symmetric key cryptography we are using only one key, that is secret key. In asymmetric key cryptography the secret will base on our personal interest. So we are using two different keys here, private key and public key. So two topics we have in this third unit. Now we are discussing second topic, mathematics we will discuss again. So let us see what will happen in asymmetric key cryptography. What actually will happen in asymmetric key cryptography? See, Bob is the person. This person will have a public key and Bob will also have private key. As I already told you, we have two keys. The two keys are private key, public key. Public key we will tell to everyone. Private key we will tell to the person only whom we want. See, public key is announced publicly to everyone. So every person will have two different types of keys. One is public key, one is private key. Public key we will tell to everybody. But private key we will tell only to the authorized person. We will tell only to the person whom we like. We will tell only to the receiver. So see here, we have plain text. This plain text should be encrypted. For encryption we are using public key. Bob is the person. Bob have public key and private key. And what this Bob will do? For encryption they are using public key. And they want to send it to Alice. So Bob is the sender. So see here, Bob is human being. Alice is also a human being. So what we are doing now? Bob want to send some message to Alice. So for encryption they are using public key. For decryption they are using Bob private key only. So Bob is sender. Alice is receiver. So we have the sender name is Bob. We have the receiver name is Alice. Alice also will have public key. Alice also will have private key. PU means public key. PR means private key. So Bob also will have public key. Bob also will have private key. PU means public key. PR means private key. So Bob is the sender. Alice is the receiver. Bob want to send a message to Alice. This message should be encrypted using encryption algorithm. For encryption we are using public key. So Alice will get cipher text. Alice will get cipher text. This cipher text should be decrypted using decryption algorithm. For decryption again we are using sender private key. For decryption again we are using sender private key. Means Bob private key we are using. Bob private key is only given to Alice. Bob public key is given to everybody else. Bob is the sender, Alice is the receiver. We are talking about asymmetric key cryptography because we will have public key and private key. For encryption we are using sender public key. For decryption we are using sender private key. This private key is known to only Alice. This private key is known to only Alice. This public key is known to everybody. Public key is known to everybody. We have plain text. Plain text should be encrypted. We will get cipher text. Cipher text should be decrypted. So see here, Bob is the sender. He has public key and private key. Alice is the receiver. He also has public key and private key. PU is used to represent public key. PR is used to represent private key. So for locking, what is the word? What is the meaning of the word lock? Lock means encryption. The meaning of the word lock means encryption. Unlock means decryption. So the meaning of the word lock in the sense encryption. The meaning of the word unlock in the sense decryption. So for encryption we are using public key. For decryption we are using private key. This public key and private key both are Bob's only, means sender public key and sender private key only. So this is what happening in asymmetric key cryptography. So see here, what actually internally happening in asymmetric key cryptography. See here, so Alice is the person, he has the public key, he has the plain text. Using his public key, his plain text is encrypted. So we got cipher text. So here Alice is the sender. In this example, only in this example, Alice is the sender. In before example, Bob is the sender. So see here, in this example, Bob is the sender, Alice is the receiver. So Bob public key and Bob private key we have used for encryption and decryption. In this example, Alice is the sender. So Alice sender. This Alice will have public key and Alice will also have private key. So Bob is the receiver. Bob is the receiver. So see what happened here. Using Alice public key, plain text is encrypted and we got cipher text. In an insecure channel, this cipher text is given to Bob. Bob will take the cipher text. Bob will take the private key of Alice. Using this cipher text and private key of Alice, he will decrypt and he will get the plain text. In this example, you can clearly understand. In some examples, Bob will be the sender, Alice will be the receiver. In some examples, Alice will be the sender, Bob will be the receiver. So, in this example, Alice is sender. He has public key. Using public key, plain text is encrypted into cipher text. That cipher text is given to the Bob in an insecure channel. Where come this Alice got public key and private key? We have key generation procedure. This key generation procedure will give you public key and private key. Public key is known to everyone, public. Private key is only given to the receiver. From where we are getting public key and private key? We have the concept called key generation procedure that we will study in unit 4. We have the topic like key generation procedure. This key generation procedure we will study in unit 4. By using key generation procedure, we are getting public key and private key. So this key generation procedure will give public key and private key both for Bob. Again, this key generation procedure will give public key and private key both for Alice also. For everybody, 2 keys will be given, public key and private key. Who are giving these keys? Key generation procedure will give the keys. About that we will study in unit 4. Now Alice also have public key and private key. Bob also have public key and private key. But we are not using the private key of Bob here now. So for encryption we are using the public key of Alice. So encrypted. That ciphertext is given to Bob. Bob will take the private key of Alice and he will decrypt and get the plain text. So in this example, Alice is the sender, Bob is the receiver, so we are using Alice keys. In before example, Bob is the sender, Alice is the receiver, so we are using Bob keys. So what is happening here? Public key of Bob is taken, private key of Bob is also taken. Private key is for decryption, which means unlock. Public key is for encryption, which means lock. In the next example, Alice is the sender. So we have taken Alice public key and Alice private key for encryption and decryption. Who are giving these keys? Key generation procedure is generating all the keys. So the next one, see how we can represent plain text and ciphertext in asymmetric encryption. How we can represent plain text and ciphertext in asymmetric encryption. In symmetric encryption, plain text and ciphertext is just text only. But in asymmetric encryption, plain text and ciphertext is treated as integers. You have to remember this point. In asymmetric encryption, plain text and ciphertext is treated as integers. So see here, F is a function. G is also a function. We have two types of functions in asymmetric cryptography, F and G. F is used for only encryption, G is used for only decryption. So F and G are two different functions. These functions we have only in asymmetric key cryptography. This F function is used for encryption, G function is used for decryption. So what are the important points you have to remember here? In asymmetric key cryptography, plain text and ciphertext are treated as integers. In asymmetric key cryptography, plain text and ciphertext are treated as integers. Here we have two functions F and G. F is used for encryption, G is used for decryption. So this is what you have to understand. In asymmetric key cryptography, plain text and ciphertext are treated as integers. Integers means 0 to n, any number. Next we have two functions here, F and G. F is used for encryption, G is used for decryption. So see the formula, ciphertext equal to function of public key plain text. Plain text equal to function of private key ciphertext. So from where we got these formulas? From this we got formulas. If I want ciphertext, see from this diagram we can get formulas. I want ciphertext. Ciphertext is represented with the key. To get ciphertext I wanted to do encryption. For doing encryption function is F. I want to get ciphertext. So ciphertext is represented with C. To get ciphertext I wanted to do encryption. Encryption representation is F. Now to do encryption what I need? To do encryption I need public key. So public key. On which I should apply public key? On plain text. So plain text. In this easy way you can write formulas. Don't by heart the formulas. Learn formulas to write from diagrams. You need to learn formulas to get from diagrams. Don't by heart. If you by heart you will do mistake. If you by heart the formulas you will do mistakes. Don't by heart the formulas. You have to write the formulas from diagram. So what I want ciphertext. So ciphertext is C. If I want ciphertext I want to perform encryption. Encryption function is F. To perform encryption I want public key. So key, K is for key, PU is for public. Performing public key on plain text. Plain text representation is P. So this is the C equal to F of public key plus plain text, comma plain text. This is the formula for ciphertext. Same way if you want to get plain text, see, plain text representation is P. If you want to get plain text, you want to do decryption. Decryption representation is G function. You are taking the help of private key. So private key. On which you are performing ciphertext. Ciphertext representation is C. So you want plain text. For that you need to do decryption. You are using private key. Then you are applying it on ciphertext. So plain text P equal to G function, decryption function of private key comma ciphertext. This you can get from diagram. So these two formulas, ciphertext equal to encryption of public key comma plain text, plain text equal to decryption of private key comma ciphertext. These two formulas you got from the previous diagram. So this is all about the introduction of unit 3 asymmetric encryption. What is asymmetric encryption? What is the difference between asymmetric and symmetric? What is happening in asymmetric encryption? What is the diagram? What is the formulas? Then we will go into RSA algorithm. As I already told you, we have only two topics. First topic is mathematics that we are going to discuss in next class. Second topic is asymmetric key encryption. In asymmetric key encryption, we have different algorithms. In that, RSA algorithm is very important one. RSA means three persons will be there. Ron Rivest, Adi Samir, Len. These three are the persons. RSA, Altman. So these three are the persons who invented RSA algorithm in 1978. So RSA algorithm was invented in 1978, invented by Rivest, Shamir, Altman. So these three are the scientists. So what is the story behind RSA? We have the two persons, Diffie and Hellman. In 1976, they have given some requirements and they challenged somebody can meet the requirements. These three people have designed an algorithm called as RSA and this met the requirements challenged by Diffie-Hellman. So see, RSA algorithm was invented in 1978. What is the full form of RSA? There are three people, three inventors, Rivest, Samir and Altman. On their names only they named it as RSA. Why this Rivest, Samir and Altman invented this RSA algorithm? In 1976, Diffie and Hellman are the two persons. They have given some challenges to the researchers and they asked to find out the algorithm which will meet the requirements. Then these people in 1978 they developed RSA and RSA met all the challenges. RSA met all the requirements given by Diffie and Hellman. So here we are going to treat plain text and ciphertext as integers. You need to remember that point always. In RSA we are going to treat plain text and ciphertext as integers. So see, this is what RSA is. RSA algorithm is. See, RSA is public key algorithm and it is a block cipher. RSA is an example of block cipher. In unit 2 we have discussed block cipher and stream cipher. So RSA is the algorithm which is the example for block cipher. So see here, Rivest, Samir and Altman are the three people who invented RSA in 1978 to meet the requirements given by Diffie and Hellman in 1976. In 1976, Diffie and Hellman are the two persons. They challenged it and they have given some requirements. To meet the challenge and to meet the requirements, these three people invented RSA, which is a block cipher, which is a public key algorithm. And in 1978, this RSA met all the requirements given by Diffie and Hellman. Now we are directly going into the RSA algorithm. First you have to select two prime numbers P and Q. I am telling RSA algorithm now. I am telling you people RSA algorithm now. So first you have to select two large prime numbers. I told you everything is about integers only. In RSA everything is a number, everything is a integer. Plain text is a integer, ciphertext is also a integer. So see, first you have to select two large prime numbers P and Q. P should not be equal to Q. Then you have to find the N. N is also a integer product of P and Q. Then you have to find pi of N. Pi of N is nothing but P minus 1 into Q minus 1. So what you have to do? First you have to take two large prime numbers P and Q. P should not be equal to Q. Then you have to find the product of P and Q which is N. Then you have to find the pi of N. Pi of N is nothing but P minus 1 into Q minus 1. So plain text is also a integer. Ciphertext is also a integer in asymmetric encryption. First you are taking P and Q prime numbers. P should not be equal to Q. Then N is also a integer which is nothing but product of P into Q. Product of two prime numbers you have selected. Then pi of N. Pi of N is nothing but P minus 1 into Q minus 1. Okay. Next what you have to do? You have to select E. What is the condition to select E? 1 less than E less than pi of N. So here you will get the pi of N value. Then you have to select E. The formula for selecting E is 1 less than E less than pi of N. Means pi of N value you already have. 1 you have. So pi of N value you got. 1 you know. Middle E value you have to select such that 1 less than E less than pi of N. After selecting E value, now we are going for encryption and decryption. See here, in RSA algorithm, public key is E of N, private key is D. As I already told you, everything is integer in this. So public key is also a integer, private key is also a integer. So public key is E comma N, private key is D. You have to remember this. Public key is E comma N, private key is D. E already we have, N already we have, now D we should calculate. We already have the E value here. What is the E? 1 less than E less than pi of N. We already have the N value here. What is N? P into Q. So public key we got E comma N. Now private key is D. That private key we have to calculate. To calculate private key we have the formula. Private key D equal to E inverse mod pi of N. So we have taken two large prime numbers P and Q. P is not equal to Q. N is the product of P and Q. Pi of N is nothing but P minus 1 into Q minus 1. We have selected the E value such that 1 less than E less than pi of N. Now we have all the values. So what is public key? E comma N. We already have that. Private key is D. For calculating D we have the formula D equal to E inverse mod pi of N. So pi of N value you have here. E inverse you know. So you have to calculate D. This is the RSA algorithm. So let us see step by step. We have 3 steps in RSA algorithm. First step is key generation. Second step is encryption. Third step is decryption. We have 3 steps in RSA algorithm. Key generation, encryption, decryption. Key generation you already have seen. Select P and Q which are prime numbers and which are not equal to each other. Calculate N equal to P into Q. Calculate pi of N equal to P minus 1 into Q minus 1. Now you have to calculate D. For calculating D you have the formula D equal to E inverse mod pi of N. So you have to assume the E value. For assuming E value you have the formula 1 less than E less than pi of N. Now what is public key? E comma N. What is private key? D comma N. E value, N value you already know. D you have to calculate. So this is first step. First step is key generation. What is second step? Encryption. In encryption what we will do? We will convert plain text into ciphertext. So what is the formula for ciphertext? Ciphertext equal to capital M E mod N. So in decryption what we will do? We will convert ciphertext into plain text. So what is the formula for that plain text? M equal to CD mod N. Here we are considering M as plain text. Because everything is an integer, we are considering M as plain text. So what is the second step? And second step in RSA is encryption. Third step in RSA in decryption. First step in RSA is key generation. Until key generation you know. In encryption you want to convert plain text into ciphertext. In decryption you want to convert ciphertext into plain text. For that you have formulas. For that you have 2 formulas. Before what formulas we have generated? Same formulas. But here plain text is considered as M. So to obtain ciphertext we are taking M mod E mod N. M power E mod N. So to obtain plain text we are getting ciphertext power D mod N. So if you see example you will understand. See what is happening in encryption side. First step is key generation, you know. Second step is encryption. Third step is decryption. So what is happening in RSA encryption? For encryption you need plain text, E value, N value. These are the parameters in RSA encryption. So this is the algorithm for RSA encryption. For encryption what we need? We need plain text, E value, N value. So P, E, N are passed as parameters. Then what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the C value. Return C in the sense we are returning C as output. So what is the C value? To calculate C value we have the formula. So this is the formula we have to calculate C value. C equal. So this is the formula we have to calculate C value. C equal to ME mod N. So from this diagram we got the formulas. These are the formulas. Next we are discussing about RSA algorithm. This is the RSA algorithm and these are the steps in RSA algorithm. Next, what is happening in encryption side? Encryption side, to do encryption we need plain text, we need E value, we need N value. All these we already calculated. We have to return C as the output. C is the ciphertext. So for calculating C we have already formula. Plain text power E mod N equal to ciphertext. Same formula. Ciphertext you want. For that you are using plain text mod E, plain text power E mod N. This N value you already know. N equal to P into Q. E value you already determined. So you have N value, you have E value, you have, by taking plain text, E value and N value, you have to calculate C and you have to return the C as output. What is C? Ciphertext equal to plain text power E mod N. So what is the condition you want to remember here? P and Q must be large prime numbers and they must be of at least 512 bits. The size of P and Q must be at least 512 bits. The size of N must be at least 1024 bits. So you have to take large integers, large prime numbers. P and Q should be a large prime number. N also should be a large prime number. So P and Q should be of 512 bits. N should be of 124 bits. This is what happening at encryption side. So what will happen at decryption side? Decryption side also same. You are doing decryption. So you want ciphertext D and N. For encryption we need plain text E value, N value because E comma N is the public key. For decryption we need ciphertext D comma N because D comma N is the private key. Simple thing. For encryption we need public key. For decryption we need private key. So E comma N is the public key. D comma N is the private key. Everything we are talking in the point of integers only. In third unit everything is integers only. Plain text, ciphertext keys all are integers only. So as I told you before, what is public key? E comma N is public key. D comma N is private key. So for encryption we need plain text public key. For decryption we need ciphertext private key. So what is happening here? We want C value, D value, N value. This we already calculated in key generation. By having those values we can calculate the P and we can return P as the output. What is the formula to calculate plain text? Plain text equal to ciphertext power D mod N. This N value you already know, D value you calculated. So you know ciphertext value also, you can get plain text. So what I wanted to tell you is, this is RSA encryption and this is RSA decryption. For RSA encryption we need plain text and public key. For RSA decryption we need ciphertext and private key. This we already discussed. So key generation, encryption, decryption we already discussed. So public key is E comma N, you can see here. So public key is PU E comma N, private key is PR D comma N. So same points we are repeating in every algorithm. So what we have discussed in introduction, same formula, same concept. We are implementing in RSA algorithm by 3 steps: key generation, encryption, decryption. So what is happening in encryption? We are taking the public key E comma N. Public key E comma N is taken. Plain text is taken. Ciphertext we got. Nothing but encryption. Here the important point to remember is P and Q should be the large integers of 512 bits. n should be the large integer of 1024 bits. Same way decryption side also, we are taking the private key is nothing but d comma n, we are taking ciphertext, calculating the value of p, returning the value of p. For that we have the formula ciphertext power d mod n equal to plain text. So remaining we will see in the next class. So let us see the example for RSA. We will see the example for RSA and we will close. So we should take two prime numbers p and q. P and q are prime numbers. So p and q are two large prime numbers. For example, let us take p equal to 17 and q equal to 11. Now you have to calculate the value of n. N is nothing but p into q. So 17 into 11 equal to 187. So we are calculating the value of n. So this is the example for RSA algorithm. So now I am doing the example for RSA algorithm. First step is you have to select two large prime numbers p and q. I have taken p as 17, q as 11 prime numbers. First I want to calculate the value of n equal to p into q, 17 into 11, 187. Next I want to calculate pi of n. Pi of n will be p minus 1 into q minus 1. So nothing but 17 minus 1 into 11 minus 1. Nothing but 16 into 10, 160. So what are the two steps? First we want to select p and q, two large prime numbers. P value is 17, q value is 11. I only selected. This is the example for RSA. Now n is the integer, n is nothing but p into q. So 17 into 11, 187. Next is pi of n. What is pi of n? Pi of n formula is p minus 1 into q minus 1. So 17 minus 1 into 11 minus 1. So 16 into 10, 160. So what we got now? We have the p value 17, q value 11, n value 187, pi of n value 160. Now what we have to do? We have to select the e. So how can we select e? 1 less than e less than pi of n. Means 1 less than e less than 160. So e value I am taking here as 7. So why I am taking e value as 7? Because e should be the relative prime to pi of n, e should be the relative prime to p and q, and e should be less than pi of n, 160. So I am taking the e value as 7. So now I have n equal to 187 I have, pi of n equal to 160 I have, p equal to 17, q equal to 11, e equal to 7. So I have all these things. Now what is public key? Public key is represented with pu. Public key is e comma n, means 7 comma 160. What is the public key? 7 comma 160. Because public key is represented with pu, public key is e comma n. I have selected e value as 7 because it should satisfy the condition 1 less than e less than pi of n. Pi of n is 160. So e value is 7, n value is 187. So 7 comma 187 is the n value we got here, 187. So e is 7 I decided. So public key pu equal to 7 comma 187 I got. Now I want to calculate the private key. Private key is d comma n. So d value I don't know, n value is 187. Now what are the formulas I have? So now what are the formulas I have? Ciphertext equal to plain text power e mod n. Then plain text equal to ciphertext power d mod n. To calculate ciphertext and plain text, I have all the values except d value. So what is the d value? D equivalent to E inverse mod n. D equivalent to E inverse mod n. By solving this, I will get E equal to 7 mod E inverse mod n value is 187. By solving this, I will get D equal to 23. So what is the formula I have for D? D equivalent to E inverse mod n is the formula. E inverse means 7 inverse. Mod n means 187. By solving this we will get D equal to 23. So now what we have? P equal to 17, Q equal to 11, N equal to 187, pi of N equal to 160, E equal to 7. All these we only assumed. P and Q are two large prime numbers, 17 and 11. N equal to P into Q, 187. Pi of N equal to P minus 1 into Q minus 1, 160. E equal to 1 less than E less than pi of n. So E equal to 7. All this we got. Public key is PU, nothing but E comma n, nothing but 7 comma 187. Then private key equal to D comma n, nothing but D value 23 we got here. So 23 comma 187. So public key is 7 comma 187. Private key is 23 comma 187. How we got this D equal to 23? D equivalent to E inverse mod n. E is 7 inverse mod 187. By using Euclidean algorithm in unit 2. In unit 2 and unit 1 we have Euclidean algorithm. By using Euclidean algorithm we can apply to the D formula and we can get D equal to 23. Now what are the two things we need to get? C equal to plain text power E mod n. Plain text equal to C power D mod n. So what values we have to know? C value and P value we have to know. So see this 88 to the power 7 mod 187 equal to 11. 11 mod 23 mod 187 equal to 88. So see here, what is the D value? 23. What is the E value? 7. So see here, this is the ciphertext, this is the plain text. So I am assuming plain text is 88 to the power E7 mod n is 187. I am assuming plain text, ciphertext is 11. Ciphertext is 11 to the power 23, that is D value, and mod 187 is 8. By solving these two we will get ciphertext and plain text. So we have all the values P, Q, N, pi of n, E, D value, everything we have. So by using extended Euclidean algorithm, so ciphertext is nothing but P power E mod n. So 88 is the P value, E value is the 7, mod n is nothing but 187. If you solve this, you will get the C value, and that C value will be 11. So when C value is 11, how this formula will be? So here, how this formula will be this one. When C value is 11, how this formula will be? Plain text equal to C value 11, D value 23, mod 187. So this is the example for RSA algorithm, and this is solved using extended Euclidean algorithm. So what we have discussed till now? So we have started unit 3, we have seen what is asymmetric encryption. So we are discussing about asymmetric key cryptography. So asymmetric key cryptography is nothing but we are discussing about RSA algorithm. So we have seen the difference between symmetric and asymmetric cryptography. Then we have seen what keys we are using in asymmetric encryption. Then we have seen how this public key and private key is generated and distributed. Then we have seen what is the formula for calculating ciphertext and plain text. Then we have seen why RSA algorithm invented. We have seen what is the RSA algorithm. So we have seen what is key generation, what is encryption and what is decryption. So what is key generation? You have to select two prime numbers P and Q. These are large prime numbers. You have to calculate n value, n equal to product of P into Q. Then you have to find the value of pi of n. Pi of n is nothing but P minus 1 into Q minus 1. So this is the key generation, and you have to public key is E comma n, private key is D comma n. N value you will obtain here. Then what is E? You have to select E. E is nothing but a integer. E is integer. So how we can select this integer E? The formula for selecting integer is 1 less than E less than pi of n. So you know the value of n. You know the value of pi of n. You should select the value of E between 1 and pi of n. Then you can denote public key and private key. Then second step is encryption, third step is decryption. So what is encryption actually? Ciphertext you need, for that plain text power E mod n. So what is decryption actually? Decryption means you want plain text. So ciphertext power D mod n. These are the formulas. So we have seen RSA algorithm. Same we have seen in the form of steps like key generation, encryption and decryption. So we have seen from where these formulas we got. As you already know, f is a function, g is a function. F and g are two functions used in asymmetric key cryptography. F is used for encryption, g is used for decryption. So remember all these things. In further classes you should remember all these things. That's why I am repeating this many times. You have to remember what is public key, what is private key. Sender public key is used for encryption, sender private key is used for decryption. Then sender and receiver will not always be same. Sender and receiver will change. Then this public key and private key are generated by key generation procedure. This key generation procedure we will discuss in unit 4. Then, so we have started RSA by the name of Rivest, Samir and Eldman in 1978. Then this is the algorithm for that. These are the steps happening in RSA. Then see what is encryption. So for encryption we need plain key and for encryption we need plain text and public key. So plain text is P, public key is E comma N. By taking P, E, N as parameters, we are going to write an algorithm for RSA encryption and we are going to find the C value. Then we are going to print or return the C value. So what is the formula? You want ciphertext. So plain text to the power E mod N, where you know all the values of P, E, N. So and one more important thing you should remember here, P and Q must be 512 bits and N must be 1024 bits. So the size of P and Q, P should be a large prime number, Q should be a large prime number, the size of this should be 512 bits. And N is a integer, the size of N should be 1024 bits. So the next one, decryption. So for decryption what we need? We need private key. What is private key? D comma N. So for decryption we need private key. Private key is D comma N. So decryption means you are getting the plain text from ciphertext. So to get plain text, you need to have ciphertext power D mod N, where you know all the values of N, D and C. Then you should return the P value. So here the parameters are C, D, N, where D and N are private key, C is the ciphertext. So you already know in first unit we have decided Z of N is the integers. We are talking entirely about integers, prime numbers. All the entire unit is about numbers only. So as you already know, in asymmetric cryptography, plain text and ciphertext is a integer. It's not the text, it is the integer. So what are the parameters we will get here? P is for plain text, C is for ciphertext, E comma N is for public key, D comma N is for private key, Z, N is integers. These are the notations. So P is for plain text, C is for ciphertext, E comma N is public key, D comma N is private key, Z N is integers. So see what is happening in. So we have key generation is step 1, encryption is step 2, decryption is step 3. In RSA algorithm we have 3 steps. What are the 3 steps? Key generation first step, encryption second step, decryption third step. Now we will see how these 3 steps are happening in RSA. So let us take Ellis is the sender. He has the plain text P. Now he want to convert this plain text into ciphertext with the help of a key. You can see the key here. That key is E comma N. Obviously E comma N means public key. So obviously E comma N means public key. We can see the key here. We have the plain text. This plain text should be encrypted into ciphertext C. This formula you know already. If you want ciphertext, you should take plain text to the power E mod N. So this formula you already know. So 3 operations we have in RSA. The 3 operations are key generation, encryption and decryption. First we are doing encryption. For that Ellis is the sender. We are taking the plain text and we have the key here. That key is E comma N, nothing but public key. Since it is the public key, it is known to everybody. See here, you can see here. This arrow box will indicate that it is the public key, so it is known to everybody. So once the ciphertext is obtained by this formula, P power E mod N, this ciphertext is given to the receiver. See here, it is insecure channel. This channel is insecure channel. You cannot tell that the channel you are talking, the channel sender and receiver are talking will not always be secure. Ellis is the sender, obviously Bob is the receiver. Ellis and Bob want to communicate. That communicating channel need not be always secure. So Ellis is the sender, Bob is the receiver. They want to communicate. That communicating channel need not always be secure. So what will happen? He has sent a ciphertext. Now this Bob will receive this ciphertext and he want to convert it into plain text. For that he is doing decryption. For that he is having a private key, nothing but D comma N. He is having a key. That key is private key. Private key is nothing but D comma N. So this receiver has taken the ciphertext. He want to convert it into plain text by doing encryption. What is the formula for plain text? Ciphertext power the mod n. Same formula. So he will convert it. But what is the important point you have to understand in this whole diagram is, for encryption they are using rings. For encryption they are using rings. For decryption they are using groups. For decryption they are using groups. So while we are discussing unit 2, while we are discussing about mathematics of symmetric encryption, we have discussed the topic of ring and group. See, ring is denoted with R. It can perform addition and multiplication. This is the ring denotation. So group is denoted by capital G. It can perform addition and multiplication. This is the denotation for group. As I already told you, Zn will indicate integers, n integers. Z is for integer, n is nothing but n integers we have. So what I am telling you, in RSA algorithm, for encryption we are using the topic of rings. For decryption we are using the topic of groups. So what I call, we are using public rings. We are using private groups. So this point I wanted to add it here. Sender and receiver are same. Converting plain text into ciphertext and converting ciphertext into plain text is same. Public key and private key also same. And RSA algorithm, selecting P and Q, finding N value, finding E and D, same. Everything is same. But what is the new point added here? For encryption they are using rings. For decryption they are using groups. From where we got these rings and groups? While we are discussing about unit 2, we have discussed about mathematics of symmetric encryption. In that mathematics of symmetric encryption, we got the concept of rings and groups. How the ring is denoted? Ring is denoted with capital R and it can perform addition and multiplication. How the group is denoted? Group is denoted with capital G. It can perform addition and multiplication. So see here, same thing you can see here. Ring R with n integers, it can perform addition multiplication. So ring R with integers, with n integers, it can perform addition and multiplication. Same way here also. See here, group G, this is the private group. It has pi of n elements. It can pi of n elements on which we can perform multiplication. So this is the group. So here I am calling ring as public ring. I am calling ring as public ring because it is used for encryption. Since we are using the ring for encryption, I am calling it public ring. Notation is same. Integers, addition, multiplication. So since I am using the group for decryption, I am calling it as private group. I am calling it as private group. And it can also have some pi of n integers. It can also perform multiplication. So this is the concept you need to understand. So see once again, this Diffie and Hellman. This Diffie and Hellman are the two persons. In 1976, they challenged the researchers to find an algorithm to meet the requirements. So in 1978, these three people, Rivest, Semir and Edelman, met the requirements, fulfilled the challenge, and they have came up with RSA. They have came up with RSA. So next one, RSA algorithm. Next one, what are the steps in RSA? Next one, what is happening in the 3 steps of RSA? Next one, what is RSA encryption? Next one, what is RSA decryption? And next one, what are the attacks we can expect on? What are the attacks we can expect on RSA? So it is called as taxonomy of attacks on RSA. So the taxonomy of attacks on RSA, these attacks can happen on RSA algorithm. RSA is more secure, RSA is more potential, RSA is highly secured. When compared to DES and AES, we are going for RSA. It is example of block cipher and it can provide security. Even then, we can expect a sort of attacks on RSA also. So in this class, see what are the attacks we can have on RSA and what is meant by chosen ciphertext, what is meant by plain text, decryption, encryption, exponential. Explanation we will have in the next class. So factorization can happen on RSA, chosen ciphertext attack can happen on RSA, encryption exponent can happen on RSA, decryption exponent can happen on RSA, chosen plain text, modulus, implementation, these and all attacks can happen on RSA. And we'll see what is chosen ciphertext, what is chosen plain text, what are the problems we are getting while implementing RSA. All this we'll see in the next class. But just now remember, so we know what is RSA, we know what are the steps in RSA, we know what is RSA algorithm, we know what is asymmetric, we know what is asymmetric cryptography. So these basic things we know. What is asymmetric cryptography, what is RSA, what are the steps, what is the algorithm and all we know. Just remember the names of attacks. In the next class we are going to automatically learn what these attacks mean. So does cost problem we have, does simplicity problem we have, or what these attacks, what is factorization, what is chosen ciphertext, what is chosen plain text, what is encryption exponent and decryption exponent, we'll see next. So this is the complexity we have in RSA. See here. So Ellis is the sender. He has plain text. To convert this plain text into ciphertext, C is ciphertext. So formula for that is C equal to P power E mod n. Why this formula came? We want ciphertext. For that we need plain text. We have to do mod n. And what exponential we have taken? E is the exponential. So what are the problems we discussed? Here what are the problems we discussed? Encryption exponent and decryption exponent. That I am telling now. There are many attacks on RSA. If you take any algorithm in this world, somebody will attack that. DES is not highly secure, AES is not highly secure, RSA is not highly secure. Any other algorithms also, they are not highly secure. Any algorithm you take in this world, somebody can attack that because they are all mathematics only. Somebody can crack that mathematics. So what we should feel? Nobody should attack our data. Even though they attacked our algorithm, our plain text should not be loosed. In this position, a developer should be. Somebody will attack our algorithm. Even though they attacked our algorithm, our plain text should not be cracked. That is the point. So any algorithm is not good, any algorithm is not bad, any algorithm is highly secure and any other algorithm is not low secure. Comparatively, AES is good. Comparatively, DES is somewhat low. But everything has its own drawbacks. So on DES we have brute force attack, linear cryptanalysis, differential cryptanalysis. On AES also, if there is not brute force attack, some other attack is there on AES also. Likewise, RSA also, RSA met the challenges, met the requirements given by Diffie-Hellman, but it does not meet all the requirements of the world. Just Diffie-Hellman gave some requirements. RSA will undoubtedly meet the requirements given by Diffie-Hellman, but RSA is not also a highest algorithm, it also has some drawbacks. The drawbacks are nothing but some implementation problems we have. Some factorization, since we are talking about mathematics, some factorization problems we have. Chosen ciphertext, chosen plain text, somebody can attack only on plain text, somebody can attack only on ciphertext. Same way, some encryption exponent and decryption exponent, nothing but E. We are always considering the E in RSA. So what is the formula to consider E? 1 less than E less than pi of L. Obviously E is also a integer. So we have problem with numbers, we have problem with mathematics. So RSA also will have some problems that we can see in this diagram. Here we have the another character. Till now we know some sender will be there, obviously Alice, and some receiver also will be there, obviously Bob. But here we have the new character Eve. Eve is nothing but attacker. Now he came into the picture. Eve is nothing but attacker. So we have the plain text, we want to convert it into ciphertext, we are doing encryption. For that formula we already know C equal to P power E mod n. So at the same time we have Bob. Bob is the receiver. Obviously receiver will have ciphertext, he wants to convert it into plain text. To convert it into plain text we have the formula P equal to C power D mod n. So everything is fine. But as I told you, this Alice and Bob are communicating in a insecure channel. In this insecure channel, somebody may attack on the ciphertext, somebody may attack on the plain text. If somebody attack on only plain text, that is chosen plain text. If somebody attack on only ciphertext, that is chosen ciphertext. If somebody attack on this ciphertext and ciphertext, in ciphertext we have the parameter E, and they cannot solve the value of E, then we will get the problems like encryption exponent and decryption exponent. Here the value of E, finding the value of E from the formula C equal to or from the formula P equal to is nothing but we are having the problems encryption exponent or decryption exponent. So Alice is the sender, he is performing encryption. From plain text he will get ciphertext. Same way other hand also, here Alice will use public key. Here Alice will use public key for encryption. Same way on the other hand also, Bob is the receiver, he has the ciphertext, he will convert it into plain text. Here he will use private key. Here he will use private key. But what is the problem? If somebody attacker called as Eve, if attack on this ciphertext, because both the sender and receiver are communicating in a insecure channel, so by taking ciphertext he cannot do anything. Ciphertext is not understood for Eve. Eve cannot understand the ciphertext because my message is hi, I encrypted it into 05. If somebody attack on 05, they cannot understand that 05 is hi. So now Eve also cannot understand that ciphertext. Obviously he need to convert that ciphertext into plain text. If he want to convert that ciphertext into plain text, we have the formula. He got the ciphertext and he should understand the plain text. See the question mark here. Eve is the attacker. He attacked on the ciphertext because it is a insecure channel. Even then, ciphertext he cannot do anything with ciphertext. He want to convert this ciphertext into plain text. For that conversion, what is the formula? Actually, we have C equal to PE mod n. This is the formula. C equal to PE mod n is the formula. Now I have the C value, but I want the P value. Then how this formula will change? P equal to square root of C mod n power E. This is the problem. So I have the ciphertext. I am the attacker. I have the ciphertext, but I cannot understand it. I want plain text. By having ciphertext, how can I get plain text? I want to convert this ciphertext into plain text. To convert, I don't have private key. So this is the problem. Alice is the sender. He has the plain text. He converted it into ciphertext. He is using public key. This ciphertext is transferred to receiver in a insecure channel. This receiver have the private key. This receiver have the private key, so he can convert the ciphertext into plain text and read it. So if my message is hi, public key is XXYZ, hi is converted into 0005 and private key is XYZA. So hi is the original message, public key is XXYZ, ciphertext is 005 and again private key is XYZA. So sender will have plain text and public key, receiver will have ciphertext and private key. So So he can get the message hi by conversions. Hi is the original message, XXYZ is the public key. So sender will have original message and public key. 0005 is the ciphertext, XYZA is the private key. So receiver will have the private key and ciphertext. So everything is available. Sender and receiver can decode, encode, do anything and get the message hi. But I am the attacker. I have only ciphertext. I don't have private key. Without having private key, how can I convert this ciphertext into plain text? I cannot convert. Then what problem I'll get? I will get exponential complexity. Nothing but encryption exponent. Very easily I have taken the ciphertext from insecure channel. Now the question is, I got 0005. I don't know what this 0005 is. To convert this 0005 into hi, I don't have the private key. Then I have the formula ciphertext equal to plain text power e mod n. This formula I know. Now I have c value, I have e value, I have n value. I want to find p. So what is the formula? P equal to square root of c mod n power e. Here to solve this square root of c and power e is difficult task, and that attack we have. So see here, what are the attacks we have? Factorization. Since we are talking about mathematics, we have the factorial problems. Chosen plain text and chosen ciphertext are nothing but attacker is concentrating only on ciphertext, attacker is concentrating only on plain text. Then implementation is nothing but while implementing RSA algorithm, I have some technical issues. Then what is encryption exponent and decryption exponent? Encryption exponent and decryption exponent are nothing but when two people are talking to each other in a insecure channel, if somebody attacker got that ciphertext also, he cannot convert the ciphertext into plain text because he does not have private key. So the conversion of p equal to square root c mod n power e is very difficult. That is nothing but encryption component or decryption component. So let us conclude. So we have started unit 3. Name of unit 3 is asymmetric encryption. We have only 2 topics. In that mathematics topic we will discuss some other day. We are discussing asymmetric key cryptography. What is asymmetric key cryptography? We want to discuss different algorithms, asymmetric algorithms. As a part of that, symmetric means only one key, asymmetric means 2 keys. 2 keys are nothing but public key and private key. So public key will be at sender side, private key will be at receiver side for decryption. So how these keys are generated? Keys are generated by key generation procedure. So the communication is happening in the insecure channel, and we have the 2 functions f and g. F is for encryption and g is for decryption. Then we have discussed RSA. What is the key generation in RSA? So we have to take 2 large prime numbers p and q, calculate the n value. We should calculate the pi of n. Then we have to determine e by taking the formula 1 less than e less than pi of n. Then public key is e comma n, private key is d comma n. By having all this, you have to calculate the d. For d, you have the formula d equal to e inverse mod pi of n. So 3 steps: key generation, encryption, decryption. So this is what happening actually. This is how RSA algorithm will work. So at encryption we need plain text and public key. At decryption we need ciphertext and private key. So these are the problems we have in RSA. When these problems are arising, when 2 people are talking, if somebody come in between as an attacker and attack on them, they cannot do anything with ciphertext because we have the encryption exponent and decryption exponent problems. See here, RSA uses modular exponentation for encryption and decryption. To attack it, you need to calculate square root of c power e mod n. That is difficult. Calculating square root c mod n to the power e, that is the difficult task. That is the problem, or that is the complexity we have in RSA. We have to discuss 2 more algorithms. Then we can complete the topic asymmetric key encryption. RSA algorithm, Robin algorithm, Elgamal algorithm. If you discuss 3 different algorithms, our topic asymmetric key cryptography will complete. After that we can discuss mathematics. Thank you.